Boogeyman band coming round the bend. Is Boogeyman band. Is Boogeyman band.
Greetings to fellow Fright Fiends, and thanks so much for dropping by the Horror Zone channel. I hope everyone's doing well. Today's video is going to be talking about a brand new horror documentary. It premiered on Screambox and on VOD platforms. Of course, I'm talking about Pennywise, the story of it. And of course, when I say the story of it, I'm talking about this Pennywise, the Pennywise miniseries from 1990, and not this Pennywise, which is the Pennywise from the Andy Muschietti remakes that came out in 2017 and 2019. Now, growing up, I was a huge fan of this film. This came out when I was a junior in high school. It came out right before Thanksgiving. It premiered, the first episode premiered on the 18th of November of 1990. Part 2 aired on the 20th of 1990. I still remember the Monday after Part 1 aired, going into Spanish 2 class, and talking to my friend Steve Norwood about this miniseries. I was not familiar with Tim Curry. I was not a fan of Rocky Horror at the time. I knew a lot of friends of mine who were in the drama department were huge. There was like a lot of midnight showings of Rocky Horror in Berkeley that they would go to, but because my mom was so paranoid and protective of me, I never got to go to any of those. So I knew about Tim Curry from, I knew who he was, but I had never seen Rocky Horror. I hadn't seen anything he had really been in at the time. My big draw for this one was not only was this a two-part Stephen King miniseries, the first of its kind since Salem's Lot, which had premiered 11 years earlier, but it also features some of my favorite television personalities like John Ritter. I was a huge John Ritter fan from Three's Company, was a big fan of everything he did. Also a fan of Harry Anderson from Night Court. I watched Night Court all the time. Had a huge crush on Annette O'Toole just from movies like 48 Hours and Cat People. Also was a friend of Richard Mazer, who was in, he was in License to Drive. He played Corey Haim's dad. I was also a fan of him from John Carpenter's The Thing. Tommy Lee Wallace did a fantastic job directing it, and I still enjoy watching this film today. As much as I love the remakes that were done in the last couple of years, I still hold this one as one of the great horror films from my childhood. And the filmmakers who worked on this new documentary called Pennywise, the story of it, one of them is John Campopiano, and I know him. I hope I'm saying your name right, John. We are friends on Instagram, but I started following his work after he did the amazing documentary Unearthed and Untold, The Path to Pet Cemetery, which he co-wrote and co-directed with Justin White. That came out in 2017, and I did a review of it on this channel. And John co-directed this new documentary with Chris Griffiths, who did another one of my favorite horror documentaries, which is You're So Cool, Brewster, The Story of Fright Night. So when I saw it, and I knew about this being made over the last couple of years, it kind of dropped off my radar, like a lot of things that were being made because of the pandemic, and a lot of things got stalled. But then I saw it was coming out, and I saw the trailer, and I was really excited about it. And when it premiered on the 26th, I just went ahead and bought it. I bought it off of iTunes. And I've watched it a couple of times, and I'm really excited to talk about it today. So Pennywise, the story of it, is a documentary surrounding the making of the 1990 miniseries It, based on the Stephen King novel of the same name, which features a notorious villain known mostly as Pennywise. There are some amazing interviews with the cast and crew that helped put this amazing miniseries together. And some of the people they interview are Tim Curry, Emily Perkins, Richard Thomas, Tim Reed, director Tommy Lee Wallace, Dennis Christopher, Seth Green, Michael Cole, Ben Heller, Bart Mixton, Gene Warren Jr., and Gulliford Adams. And I feel like the filmmakers had like a bigger breadth of footage and clips from the film that they could use, which is something that I think enhances a documentary. If you are referencing a situation or a scene, that you're actually being able to visually see what scene that said filmmaker or said cast member is talking about. I also thought it was great seeing interviews with some of these amazing people, like Seth Green and Brandon Crane and Emily Perkins, talk about, how they approached the parts, how they got them, how they interacted with their adult counterparts, and tried to pick up like little mannerisms and things that would sort of carry over once the adult storyline took over in Part 2 was really interesting. Some of the limitations that they had to deal with, being on television and how much you could show on television. I think that was really interesting to hear about. I love that they included like the makeup effects artists like Norman Cabrera. Hearing the dynamics of adapting such a large, novel into a teleplay. And hearing Lawrence D. Cohen, who did part 1 and shared credit with Tommy Lee Wallace on part 2, like hearing both of them talk about, you know, the various elements and, you know, what they chose to include, and then also just the directing and, you know, how Tommy Lee Wallace brought it all together, and just, you know, what the final product was, how it was received, you know, all of those little fundamentals and those little details. It was fantastic. Just hearing some of the behind the scenes banter and just, you know, what the actors were all like together. What was it like to have all of these, you know, these 7 teenagers all together, and you know how that made like life difficult on the set for Tommy Lee Wallace. But then hearing the juxtapose that also the adult actors were causing, you know, for like a lot of issues sometimes when they were supposed to be, you know, quiet, and they were causing a ruckus, you know, when they all got together, because they were all friends as well from being on network television. John and Chris did a fantastic job. Everybody involved did a fantastic job. It was a real, you know, amazing documentary to watch, and one that I'm so glad that I own. So like I said, it is on VOD platforms, it is on Screenbox. I bought it off of iTunes, and can't recommend it enough. Just like Unearthed and Untold and You're So Cool, Brewster, easily one of the best horror documentaries ever made. If I had to give Pennywise, the story of it, a rating on my scale, definitely giving it 5 skulls. That is my review of Pennywise, the story of it. If you guys have seen it, please share your thoughts down in the comment section below. Let me know what you guys thought of it. Let me know if you grew up with that original 1990 miniseries like I did. Again, I was 16 years old when it came out, and I still remember watching it both nights. Aired right before Thanksgiving in 1990, and while the second part always left me, that ending was never my favorite. It's really interesting watching this documentary and hearing that it wasn't satisfying to the people that were making it. You know, they had limitations, they had a time frame to get it done. You know, but I still appreciate it, and I think everybody put a lot of hard work into it, and I love everybody that was involved. I truly deeply miss John Ritter. He was one of my heroes, and it was great hearing that he was a really cool guy and really nice to all the kids on set and everything. So, you know, that was something that really warmed my heart watching this, just because I was a tremendous fan of the guy. So yeah, it is a part of my childhood, very important film. As much as I love the remake, the 2 films that came out in 2017 and 2019 respectively, I will always have a special place in my heart for this miniseries, and I will always love Tim Curry's version of the character of Pennywise as much as I love the Bill Skarsgård version of the character as well. So let me know what you guys think. Thanks so much again for stopping by the Horror Zone, and I promise I'll talk to you again real soon. Take it easy, stay scared as always. Fright Fiends, just want to say thank you again for supporting Boogeyman Ben's Horror Zone. If you're brand new to the channel and you haven't yet subscribed, please hit the subscribe button down below, hit the bell notification so you're updated every time I drop a new video. I typically do this once or twice a week with new content. I've been doing this for over 11 years, and the horror genre is a passion of mine, and it really means a lot to me that I can share that passion with all of you guys. Thanks so much again for the support, and I'll talk to you again later. Take it easy, stay scared as always.